Nigeria's inflation falls for the first time in 11 months. Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele resumes duty just as the DSS clears air on invading the apex bank. Oil prices slip as global recession looms. Plus Asia-Pacific markets trade mixed as investors digest Chinese economic data. This is Business Express on a network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, and we're reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. I am Leah Kachimbabatunde. You're welcome. Very good morning to you right here from the nation's capital city. Nigeria's headline inflation rate has dropped marginally to 21.34% in December 2022 from 21.47% recorded in November 2022. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics show a decline of 0.13% when compared to November 2022 inflation numbers. However, on a year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 5.72% points higher compared to the rate recorded in December 2021, which was 15.63%. On a month-on-month basis, the percentage change is in the all items index in December 2022, which was 1.71%, and it was 0.32% higher than the rate recorded in November 2022. This means that in the month of December 2022, the general price level was 0.32% higher relative to the previous month. The increases were recorded in all divisions that yielded the headline index, especially in food, non-alcoholic beverages, transport, and miscellaneous goods services. The report attributes likely factors responsible for the increase in the monthly inflation rate to the sharp increase in demand usually experienced during the festive season, increase in the cost of production elements like energy costs, transportation, and exchange rate depreciation. Now, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, has resumed duty after his annual vacation abroad. Emefiele, who proceeded on leave in December 2022, resumed work on January 16. A statement by Director Corporate Communications of the bank, Osita Nwanisobi, confirmed the resumption. The spokesperson noted that the governor is back to work with renewed vigor. Emefiele will on January 23 and 24 chair the first Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the year. The statement further states that Emefiele remains committed to performing the task before him in line with his oath of office and the policy direction of President Muhammadu Buhari. And also, the Department of State's Security Service DSS has debunked reports making the rounds that its operatives invaded the office of the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. There have been reports that the operatives of the secret police invaded the CBN on Monday with the intention to arrest the governor of the apex bank. But the DSS, in a statement issued by its spokesperson Peter Afunaya, described the report as fake and misleading. The non-oil exports sector records significant growth in the year 2022. Now, this details is coming up with Comfort Amadou.
22. Nigeria exported a total of 7.350 million metric tons of non-oil products worth 4.8 $820 billion. The agri sector exported 30.12%. Semi-processed and manufactured products were 36.61%, while the export of precious stones in the year under review was 17.06% and others at 13.21% through 19 exit points and Apapa recording the highest tonnage. However, of the top 10 importers of Nigerian products, no African or ECOWAS country made it to the top 10.
We at the NAPC are working assiduously to change the trajectory, particularly in the wake of the African Continental Free Trade Area.
Explaining the significant growth recorded in non-oil export in 2022, the NEPC boss noted that the council's effort at driving the diversification agenda of the present administration yielded results, as the Federal Executive Council last year approved a sum of 375 billion naira to clear the backlogs of claims for 285 beneficiaries of the Export Expansion Grant Scheme, and added that the Council has commenced the process for clearance of backlogs of claims for 2021 and 2022.
There is a need to increase intra-African trade, given the huge opportunities and benefits therein.
He said the NEPC is now facilitating MSMEs' acquisition of international certification to access niche markets with premium pricing under its Go Global Go certification initiative.
We're not where we used to be entirely. We've gotten better. Production has expanded.
And the demand is growing. So we should just work on modalities like policies and soften hands on some of the bottlenecks.
Now, notwithstanding global economic crisis triggered by the effects of COVID-19 and recession, Nigeria exported a total of 7.35 million metric tons of non-oil products worth $4.82 billion in the year 2022, as seen from NEPC's non-oil export performance for the outgoing year. Joining me to speak on these and other issues relating to the non-oil export is the Director of Market Access Department, Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Babatunde Faleke. You're welcome to Business Express this morning.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning.
I guess we'll just be having a meeting of the Babatundes.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, particularly this level of growth, what were the drivers?
Well, I can say there is increase in production and strict adherence to rules and regulations, and the campaign of NEPC that we should imbibe export culture. So everyone now is doing well, the production is increasing, the adherence to instruction is increasing, and again there is a lot of diversification from agro-process to semi and manufactured goods. So every agency is on board, everybody is cooperating. The customs are cooperating, the NACO are cooperating, the NPA are cooperating, everyone is working. NEPC is the lead agency. We campaign a lot about the need to diversify and the need to hand forex so that we can be we can be better off in terms of export.
So
and I think it's paying off.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, which of the sectors performed the most?
The semi-manufactured products. Before now it was agriculture, produce,
great, yeah.
But now we have semi-manufactured, we have urea for the first time in large quantity to Brazil.
Really?
Yeah, and that is attributable to the war between Russia and Ukraine. So NEPC as a driver has been campaigning about this, that we need not waste the byproduct from petroleum. So I think this has come up, and a lot of people, Dangote and LMA Pro, are doing very well in this angle, and is the lead, is the export lead for this last year that has gone.
So it's like the war sort of favored us in some aspects.
Well, yeah, that's okay. It's favored us, and again we are looking inward as well. This has been on the drawing board for a long time, but the opportunity came, and we were looked to us. The country was looked to us to provide that service, and it was to catch on the opportunity, and this is what we gained, and we could do more.
Okay, 19 exit points were used, and Apapa port had the highest tonnage. What measures were deployed to achieve this, and do you see an expansion to other ports?
Yeah, I think majorly Apapa got it right because of cost of handling is cheaper in Apapa, then it's more accessible. Then the bigger vessel goes there because it's wider, it's bigger, the depth is high, and a lot of things happen there. So, and it contains most of the big vessels. And apart from that, the handling charges there are reasonable. And again, it's more accessible. And again, the NPA has put in a lot of processes in place. We have export processing terminal now over there. And I think with this development, other ports, other agent, other terminal will also look at that and see what we can do. Or initially, it was difficult, but now I think we're getting it right. And with one right, I think we can do a lot of rights.
Yeah, because I was actually impressed last year when we heard that ships have begun to berth again in Calabar ports.
Yeah.
So
Calabar is also, it is better for all of them to be functional. And if you look at it, it's only in the south now that we have more of these things happening. And that means we have a lot of work to do in terms of logistics in other areas as well. It's not as if, because it is easier for you to access a product from the nearest point of export, and there is no region without export candidate. So for you to drive all the way to Lagos is also not easy. So it builds on us, and that we need to work on other export, other terminals, other exit point, so that it could be accessible and it could have safe facility, and that the control, the charges will also be minimal.
okay, and then perhaps I just chip this in. The dry ports, did they really contribute anything in this?
Not yet, not many, but it's okay, because the dry port is also a place where you can also access this, package your luggage, package the product, and then bag it and move it down. So it's working. I'm sure by this year it will be better off.
Okay.
The dry port is also working well.
Okay, and the issues of around rejection of exports from Nigeria, is it safe to say that story is behind us?
Well, I won't say that it's behind us, but it's totally stemmed. I mean, it's controlled, because people now follow regulations, and NEPC is doing a lot through our global good certification. I mean, a lot of these are because of lack of knowledge, lack of information, and people not adhering to import regulation rules of the importing countries. But now with the NEPC campaign and with us doing the right thing, this is also being controlled. It's not totally eliminated, but it's significantly reduced. It's reduced. You can hear last year not much, happened in terms of rejection. So we're really getting there, and it's being controlled. It's being controlled.
Okay, so I just want to take you back a bit to the report from NBS. It came late yesterday,
Right.
And part of the reasons they gave for the rise in the inflation numbers is transports. And we've also had issues recently. We hear that most of the trucks are having to pay multiple tax across states, local government jurisdictions. Is this a problem for the NEPC, or it is not your problem at all?
Well, it's a problem. This multiple tax is a problem, but NEPC has put in place what we call domestic export warehouse, where all agencies that needed to regulate all processes are in that place, and as soon as your goods are checked, loaded, no one stop you on the road again. It will be sealed, and there will be due stamp on it that this is already done. It's a problem, because when you move goods from one state to another, you have to pay charges. It's add to cost, and it's input, and when you add that cost, it becomes not competitive over there. So it's a problem, but then NEP is addressing it through the development of domestic export warehouse. And also the NPA also has a program called Export Processing Terminal, where you can go there, process your things, and let it be, at least let not much regulatory agencies work on it. But the interstate charges are really burdensome. True. And it affects export, especially when it comes to commodities. It's an issue. It's an issue. But the NEPC is addressing that through the introduction of domestic export warehouse.
Okay, so in all of these gains, the good news that we are celebrating, where is the place of the subnationals, the state and the local governments? What did they contribute to this?
States are doing well. We have what we call one state, one product export for export, and a lot of states are key into it, and everybody is trying to put resources behind at least one product for purpose of export, and that is being done. That is being embraced, And at the last count, I remember we tried to even award 3 of the best expert states who key into the program. And we have what we call State Export Promotion Committee at each state level. So all states are working on it, and the states are, the local governments are on that state. So every local government has one potential. The 774th local government has product that can be exported. And we are working together, and you see us institutional wise, we have state coordinating offices in virtually all the states of the federation to ensure that the product within those states are developed to export level. We are working very well across the board. Everybody is all hands on desk on that matter.
Okay, just last week I was in a forum with some young women, and I was sort of amazed that none of them had the knowledge that they could walk to NEPC and any of the agencies to get a clear-cut direction for exports, and in this Abuja. So I'm now wondering that if people in Abuja lack this basic information, then what about the people out there? So what is the level of dialogue?
Well, you can see, I'm here now to talk about it,
Yeah, sure.
about export. So it is a two-way thing. When you need that information, you seek for the information. We are there all the time. I'm here to talk with you on export. But most times I used to encourage our young entrepreneurs to also look for information. I want to do this. Where do I get it done? You don't start something without researching. There is no way you can Google NEPC, you will not see information about us. And we do a lot. We have youth inclusiveness. We have women in export. As far back as 20 years ago, we've been having women in export as a program before the shittery comes around. So it's about who's looking for it. And we need also we do more. We're already campaigning. We are always there. We were working with youth. We are women and a lot of inclusiveness in NEPC that we do. So, but we need to do more using the platform of publicity like NTA and every other agencies, other press. We've been there talking about it and speaking about it. All I can say, we have to do more. But in all honesty, we always encourage anybody that want to do export should also research, because we are there. Perhaps if you let know the organization, we can reach them. I can take this back to the office, and the department in charge will always reach out to them. We're always there talking to people.
Okay.
I can assure you that the last 1 year we are also in the news. If you can attest to that, we're always in the news talking about NEPs, talking about export survivor. We even do campaign on export survivor these days.
Yeah.
We walk around. We engage agencies on export. So and I'm sure the nation is big, quite honestly, but then the country is large. But we try a lot to make sure that we publicize what export and the need for everybody to embrace export.
Okay, I must thank you, Mr. Babatunde Faleke. I had wanted to speak about the export expansion, but I'm told I do not have any much time left.
All right.
So we're going to postpone it to another time. Thank you for coming on the program.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, and have a nice day.
Thank you.
So let's now see prices of other commodities on the global market. Now, oil prices fell in early trade on Tuesday as recession fears dominated headlines out of the World Economic Forum's meeting in Davos, draining optimism that stoked the market last week on prospects of a full demand recovery in top oil importer China. Brent crude futures were down 38 cents at $84.08 a barrel, extending a 1% loss in the previous session. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures slid $1.16 to $78.70 a barrel. The cotton, textile and garment sector of the manufacturing industry of Nigeria is set to harness cotton production in 24 states of the country by revamping the cotton value chain. This is as the country ranks 6th largest in Africa, producing 51,000 metric tons in the last 10 years, as against the leading position in the 60s to 70s, a narration the federal government is changing amid a convergence of global players in Abuja from tomorrow to strategize on way forward.
Before the elections, the review and the validation of that document will have to be concluded. Trade facilitation. Now, we are working with the customs, with immigration, and with embassies to make sure that trade investment goes smoothly without hindrances.
The intervention of government. I recall in 2019, it was only about 5 trains that were functional, ready to go. But by 2020, that's been gone up to 23 trains, in the northeast, north central, and northwest.
Actually, that process is ongoing as I speak. Today, the 17th of January 2023, the cotton process will be getting a lift. So how much is the Naira exchanging for the currencies? Let's find out. The equities market started the week on a negative note. The NGX whole share index depreciated to 52,348.82 points, and market capitalization dropped to 28.5 trillion naira. Investors exchanged 221.8 million shares valued at 3.2 billion naira in 5,219 deals. Next is global market with Boss Abel.
Asia market mostly traded lower Tuesday as investors digested a slew of Chinese economic data. In mainland China, the Shanghai Composite fell 0.10% as data showed nation's GDP grew by 3% in 2022. Hong Kong Hang Seng Index fell 1.07%, while stocks in Japan bucked the trend, with the Nikkei 225 rising 1.23%, leading gains in the region as the Bank of Japan kicked off its two-day monetary policy meeting. U.S. stock futures also traded lower early Tuesday morning as investors attempted to keep building on early 2023 momentum and looked ahead to more corporate earnings. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 65 points. S&P 500 dropped 0.34% and Nasdaq 100 futures also dipped 0.47%. European markets on their part are heading for a flat to lower open this Tuesday morning, with concerns about the global economy high on the agenda at the World Economic Forum in Davos this week. Concerns over the direction of the global economy, persistent inflation, fragmentation and sluggish growth are high on the agenda, as well as the war in Ukraine. Early figures from Africa markets are bleeding, with South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40 and Namibia's overall index leading losses, while other stocks are unchanged. Boss Abel, Business Express.
This is where we end this episode of the program. Business Express will return Wednesday at 3 p.m. Don't forget, you can access all previous episodes on YouTube on the NTA's channel. You can also communicate with us via our various social media platforms. Don't also forget that you have until January 31, precisely 2 weeks, to change your currencies, the 200, 500 and 1,000 naira. Have a blessed day and God bless Nigeria.